This is the Reds POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Cincinnati Reds. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Good evening, Reds fans, and welcome to another edition of the POSTCAST, brought to you by Locked On Reds and the Locked On Podcast Network. I'm Tim Daniel. I'm a lifelong Cincinnati Reds fan. I've been podcasting about the Cincinnati Reds for 5 years at publications such as Late Night Reds and the Riverfront, and I am so excited to be here with you tonight as we discuss an unbelievably epic night at Great American Ballpark as the Cincinnati Reds are victorious over the San Diego Padres 8-1. If you are just checking me out for the first time, please be sure to hit that notification button here on YouTube and also subscribe so you can not only get my show after each and every Reds game, but you can get my good friends Jeff and Steve Monday through Friday on Locked On Reds. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel, where your first $5 bet wins for new customers and get you up to $150 in bonus bets. On tonight's show, Nick Martinez takes a no-no into the ninth. We're going to talk about his unbelievable performance. Spencer Steer says, man, I also am going to have an unbelievable performance tonight with not one, not two, but 3 home runs. And I'm going to talk a little about the Reds honoring the machine tonight and how I think it's really awesome. All that and a whole lot more. And I'm going to hear what you guys have to say. And the chat is rocking tonight. We got Nikki Tight Pants from Robo Shooter. Johnny says, some nights the team makes me proud to be a fan. This was for sure one of those nights. Sydney says, what an insane game it was. Man, you guys are feeling it. I'm feeling it. Let's go ahead and let's get started, shall we?
This is what you'll be talking about.
How about Nick Martinez tonight, guys? Just unbelievable. What an unbelievable evening. And just dominant. Just absolutely dominant, man. And for a guy who's had his role kind of moved around quite a bit of late, to see him come out and have a night like this, just insane. So at the end of the day, his line looks like eight innings pitched, 1 earned run on 1 hit, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. What that story doesn't tell is that he took a no-hitter into the 9th inning. And I really thought he was going to have it. Man, just an unreal night. And this is the thing about tonight. Is you look at this, so he got 24 outs. He had 6 strikeouts. So it was a lot of his defense behind him doing things and kind of taking care of business as well for him. Just seeing him mix his pitches, and a guy who was pitching in the bullpen his last 2 outings. And the start before that, when had a situation where he threw 2, didn't even get through the 3rd inning against the Twins, to go out there today and just put all that behind him. Do what the Reds need him to do. I think we all were a little nervous when we saw going through the ballpark, the MLB app, that he was going to be starting on Friday after pitching those relief effort games. It was, and he tonight put out a performance that is always going to be remembered at Great American Ballpark. So you see he walks the guy in the 1st inning and just mows him down from there, getting 21 straight out, 20 straight out, something like that. Something crazy. But just the fact that he was just able to take care of everybody. And to the point where the game got so out of hand that San Diego took out Fernando Tatis and Manny Machado and said, it's just not their night. He owned them. He took care of everything. He took everything away from the Padres, and he just made this night an unbelievable performance, one that's going to go down in lore in Great American Ballpark history. Just consistently getting guys out. Only 2 walks tonight to go with his 6 strikeouts. He was the man. There was nothing you could do to him tonight, and just had guys looking foolish. So Luis Arias came into this game on a 12-game hitting streak, leaves 0 for 4. Manny Machado, who I mentioned, 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Fernando Tatis Jr., 0 for 3. Xander Bogaerts, 0 for 3. With a few ground outs, 2 to Ellie De La Cruz specifically. What's up, Bryson? How are you? I like what Laura says here. She says, it was his revenge tour from his last start. You love to see it. Yes, and I got to listen quite a bit to the radio broadcast tonight, and Tommy kind of talked about that in the sense that he said, he probably really wanted to avenge that one. And he not only avenged that one, he put that one way in the rear view. Obviously, what they're getting right now from the rotation, just to see him doing things like that. Like Will says here, pitching 2 nights in the bullpen, getting nine outs in the bullpen through 2 games, and then taking care of this tonight, giving up 1 hit and 1 earned run. And I thought he had it. It felt like going into the 9th inning. It just felt like history was on his side. So an amazing night for Nick Martinez. I can't believe how good he was tonight. Steve and I talked on Thursday. I did Locked On Reds, filling in for Jeff for the week. And I kind of said that even though it's a lot of small sample sizes of Padres batters against Nick Martinez, all the small sample size did not look like they were benefiting Nick Martinez. And he said, no, Tim, you're wrong. I'm going to be the one that owns them tonight. And he did just that. Can't take anything away from this evening. An unbelievable, a well-deserved ovation, like Will says here, seeing him come off the mound. Just fantastic. And he wasn't the only one tonight. Not only did Nick Martinez have a historic performance tonight at Great American Ballpark, Spencer Steer had a historic moment tonight at Great American Ballpark as well. We're going to talk about Spencer Steer and his epic performance as well right after this. Have you ever decided last minute to head to a ball game with friends or family? Maybe it's game day and you suddenly realize you want to be in the stands. That's exactly where GameTime comes in. It's the easiest way to grab last minute tickets without the stress. With the money you save on tickets, you can splurge on food, drinks, merch, or even invite a bigger group to go with you. GameTime makes it possible. GameTime makes buying tickets fast and simple. Prices on the app actually drop the closer you get to first pitch, and they've got incredible last-minute deals, clear seat views, and a lowest price guarantee that takes the worry out of buying. GameTime is the official ticketing partner of Locked On MLB, making it easy to browse the app for games such as this weekend when they do Big Red Machine celebration as the Cincinnati Reds are taking on the San Diego Padres. GameTime has last-minute tickets and zone deals for big savings like 10% off exclusive zone deals for FIFA Club World Cup Championships. Seat views right in the app before you buy so you know exactly where you'll be. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the GameTime app. Lowest prices, last-minute tickets, guaranteed. Want to shout out all of our everydayers here on the Locked On Postcast. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. Not only me on the Postcast, but Jeff and Steve Monday through Friday on Locked On Reds. The 3 of us are immensely grateful for your daily support for our shows. And of course, if you can't check us out on YouTube, you can check us on your podcast app of choice. Take us with you on the road, whether it's to the gym, whether it's on your walk with your dogs. Me, I'm pushing a stroller. Actually, not really anymore pushing a stroller, but you know what I'm getting at. But yes, we're here for you each and every day on Locked On Reds. I want to go and say that I think the 5th inning tonight was absolutely the turning point of tonight's ball game.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
So the turning point in the 5th inning, I've really kind of felt was fitting because even though they were up 4-0 at this point, the game kind of got a little crazy there. So let's kind of go through the plays real quick. Let me get them all up here because I had them written down. You guys know I love my notes that I have on my phone, so it makes me look like I'm ignoring everything, right? So they bring in Yuki Matsui to face Ellie, turn Ellie around. You can't do that anymore. Ellie smokes balls rough up from the right side of the plate too now, guys. Smokes a single to Gavin Sheets. Austin Hayes then doubles, brings in Ellie. By the way, Austin Hayes, welcome back. Good to see you. And your first hit since coming back. Then Gavin Lux, I said Scooter Jeanette because someone said in the chat, I had it going, has facing a lefty, and Matsui at that gets a single, brings in Austin Hayes from second. And then, of course, Spencer Steer hits his 9th homer of the year to make it for his 3rd of the night to make it an 8-0 game. So unbelievable, just a fantastic performance. And it just something that's pure insanity. So I also love that you guys are throwing trivia out there. This is pretty fun. I talked about this the other day. I was actually at Homer's no-hitter at GABP against the Giants in 13. One of my favorite nights until the Chase Burns debut the other night. That was pretty incredible. Spencer Steer. Now, if you guys have been listening to the Postcast, which a lot of you are my everydayers, and you're here chatting it with me every night after a game, which my wife still can't believe how many people care enough what I have to say. But Spencer Steer tonight put on a performance that we don't see a whole lot of. And if you've been paying attention, he's been hitting the ball extremely well for a while now, obviously, right? You guys know, I love to read the trends. And last 30 games, even 290 batting average, 325 on base, 486 slugging, last 15, 328, 332, 672. And then the last 7, 429, 414, 857. The only thing he's not doing is walking. And guess what? He doesn't have to, the way he's swinging the bat right now. So the only thing he really wasn't doing going into tonight was hitting homers. He was making solid contact. He was driving in runs. He had been really, and honestly, I've heard some people out there try to say he's not a first baseman. He's played some really good first base, and the numbers also show that he's also played some really good first base as well. So I'm not listening to any more mumbo jumbo about Spencer Steer not being able to be a first baseman, because that is crap, and he has been showing it for a while now. Hashtag play Spencer Steer first base every day. Thank you, Diane. I really appreciate that. But Spencer Steer comes out and he's like, all right, I'm going to make tonight fun too. Hits a homer in the second inning, solo shot. You're like, all right, cool. We're on to something here. I like it. Spencer Steer then comes up in the fourth and says, shall we do it again? Does it again. Makes it 4-0. You're like, all right. And then, of course, as I mentioned, the fifth inning caps off the 4-run fifth inning with a 2-run fly for his 9th of the year. Spencer Steer is now tied for second on the team in home runs after tonight with Matt McLain with 9. That's pretty epic, considering he came into the night with 6, obviously. Tied with Ty Steve there at a lower level. That's not really lower level, but for a team that hits a lot of home runs, being the Reds, it's not like they have a ton of dudes who are just, they have one guy right now with double-digit homers. And, of course, he does have 18. We got Robert in the house. We got West Coast Robert in the building. That is now your name, Robert, by the way. When you come to the POSTCAST, you're now West Coast Robert. I hope you like it, because I think it's pretty cool. Josh says his slugging went up 0.47 tonight alone. Love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. Yeah, man, just an awesome evening for him. I know it's a night he's also going to remember forever. When you're me and you're spoiled with evenings like tonight, when you come on here and talk about the Reds with your friends, and you have not one, but 2 locked on players of the game because they both deserve it, it's pretty fun.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Remind me, guys, to send an email to Locked On and say there's going to be some nights like tonight I'm going to need players of the game, because Nick Martinez and Spencer Steer both 1,000% earned it tonight. And it's hard to give it to one over the other. You can't give it to one over the other, because both guys had just an unbelievable performance. Real quick before I get into the final segment, I want to give a couple of the shout outs to some players as well. I thought Ellie had great at bats tonight, both sides of the plate. Man, that, like I said, that bat off of Matsui, and then the RBI he had earlier in the day, the 1 RBI, sorry, that he had was awesome. I thought Gavin Lux hit was great. Will Benson smoked a single. That was really nice to see. Matt McLain gets on base twice again. Gets a hit and draws a walk, and obviously scores a run on the wild pitch when Austin Hayes is at the plate. So really cool to see those guys do their thing. It was awesome. So tonight starts the weekend where the Reds are honoring the Big Red Machine. And now, for those of us who are in my age group, I tweeted during the game that I can't believe it's already been 50 years since the Bigger Machine. And I'm 36 saying that, right? But I've been to some of these grade 8 celebrations over the years. I was there when they did really cool things for like Tony Perez and Joe Morgan and Dave Concepcion and all those guys. But tonight, it wasn't just about the grade 8. And that's what I thought was really cool. They brought 23 former players in from the Machine era to come and talk and be a part of the celebration this weekend. And yes, 1,000% the grade 8 deserve every recognition they can possibly get. The Johnny Benches, the Joe Morgans, the Pete Roses, the Tony Perez's. I know how I feel personally about Pete Rose, but I know what he means to that era of Red fan. So I'm not going to get into that because I don't want to. Your Ken Griffey Seniors, your George Fosters, and then they're honoring, your Don Gullets, your all those guys. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on names at the moment. There's just so many to remember. And unfortunately, guys from the machine couldn't be here tonight because of, not being with us anymore. Guys like Pete, guys like Tom Seaver, guys like Joe. Robert, if you want to break open a cold one and chat about Joe Morgan, buddy, I will be there any day of the week to do that. I've watched every Joe Morgan tape I could possibly get my hands on. And what I really loved is, and I've told this story a million times, if you're sick of hearing it, I understand. My dad is a kid of the machine. My dad was born in 64. He passed 3 years ago. It'll be 3 years this December. And the way that my dad talks about the machine is like they're 8 Paul Bunyan's, right? Like they were just those guys. And it's been really cool to see that those guys are getting the credit they deserve. This not just the guys that we've grown to love, the great 8 picture, but it's everybody that was part of those teams. And I think the Reds did such a great job of that this weekend. And I can't wait to see how they handle it this next couple of days. I know tomorrow's the Bigger Machine hat giveaway, and that hat looks really cool. It's one of the better hat giveaways they've done in a long time. And then, of course, Sunday, we're going to round out a fun weekend. What an unbelievable week at Great American Ballpark. Between the 2 of the 3 wins in the Yankees series, Chase Burns' debut, Nick Martinez tonight, and Spencer Steer tonight. Just, if you're not getting to the ballpark, now's the time to go because these Red Legs are cooking. Also, how are we already halfway through the season? Like, why didn't John Bon Jovi pop up to tell me we're halfway there? I'm really disappointed in him for that. But we are actually literally now over halfway through with tonight's game. We're now 82 games in the year. So 80 of these to go. And I'm not ready for them to go away because I'm having way too much fun watching this team right now. But with that being said, the Cincinnati Reds are victors tonight over the San Diego Padres at GABP 8-1. Your Red Legs, 8 runs on 9 hits, no errors. The San Diego Padres, 1 run on 1 hit, 1 error. Your winning pitcher tonight is Nick Martinez picking up his 5th win of the year. Your losing pitcher tonight is Dylan Cease, who is 3-7 with a 4.53 ERA after tonight's game. And actually, I forgot to list it. Nick Martinez has brought his ERA down to a solid 4.12. So really awesome. Tomorrow afternoon, the Red Legs are back at it, and Andrew Abbott looks to go ahead and clinch the season win. He is 7-1 with a 1.79 ERA. He'll be going against Randy Vasquez of the Padres. He is 3-4 with a 3.6 ERA. First pitch is at 4:10. If my goal is everything goes the way it should be, I should be here about 7:15 tomorrow. Everyone, thank you so much for celebrating an electric evening at Great American Ballpark with me. I'm Tim Daniel. Cannot wait to see you guys tomorrow. Go Reds. Enjoy the rest of your Friday night. Let's all enjoy ourselves. Cheers.